When last we met, the four characters had just defeated a couple of vampires inside the Bloodstone Curios shop. Became aware of several disturbances outside, took a look outside, found a couple of vampires that had been backing up a large 18-wheeler. Noticed some of them moving down the street. Short while later, coming back with a very large group of humans. Healthy looking, moist, juicy humans. Including one larger vampire, a bit of a bruiser, seemed to be organizing this cattle call. The party took out those three vampires. Humans, I believe humans were just sent into Bloodstone Curios, where Adam and Barnabas are currently taking care of them, having some nice tea, taking a nap maybe. And the party was beginning to think about, well, what do we do next? So there are a few things that you guys wanted to do that we need to follow up on. One, Alder wanted to take some time to upload some of the footage he'd been taking to Facebook or his social media of choice.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Spitfire was going to be reporting back to MI13 to, just report on what's been going on here. Cullen was going to get some communications out to some of the other monster hunters. And Connor didn't have anything particular in mind, but was at least thinking about ways to destroy perhaps a certain amulet he became aware of last game. The other bit of information before I hand it over to you is that you did also become aware of that there was a rendezvous point that you do have awareness of because of the GPS in the truck, which you have the keys to. And that is an option for, at least if you wanted to pursue that, to go to this rendezvous point. And that's where we are. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Whatever order you want to tackle things in.
Well, before we go anywhere, the issue of the amulet itself, right? We know now that the amulet has some level of importance to vampires. We're not entirely certain what the nature of that importance is, but we're sort of split in terms of whether or not we want to destroy the object or keep it safe. And to that end, I would like to get some form of encrypted like safekeeping mechanism that is portable. Put it in that and have it encoded. Therefore, if anyone does capture it, they can't just take it off my person and run away. They'd have a lot of trouble on trying to crack it or break it or something of that nature.
So like a portable safe type thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Portable safe. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. We'll say you can. You've got access to that.
Cool. It is now in a portable safe that is key coded.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So that works for me.
Tracking that down and you're taking care of that. So while you are doing that, who would like to go next?
You guys can do what you want to do, but I don't see any reason not to make the rendezvous. If we want to prep for it, that's fine. But I don't see how this goes anywhere other than try to track down where these people are going to be going.
All right, and you make that clear to the rest of the party.
Yes,
in your stoic way.
Arr.
I think Alder would probably take that sentiment and make one last recording before trying to upload to his Facebook feed. And he probably has a fairly decent sized Facebook page following. All the people that kind of didn't believe all of the rumors of the scandal that happened with the church. I'm sure there are a lot. We'll, record one less. We just found out that these evil creatures have been where they were set to go, and we've decided to, help eliminate this evil menace and find out where they're coming from. We're doing this for you. That kind of message, and and take some time trying to like upload all this and see what people are saying, if there's if he does get something successfully uploaded on there.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say is I won't make you roll for this because it'll be pretty obvious, just something that in the heat of battle you didn't check up on. And that's as you're going through the footage. I mean, you've got some good shots of Conor, beasting out and Cullen taking aim, and then you zoom to one area, and you hear a gunshot, and then you see a splatter of blood in the middle of the screen, but that's it. Then you realize none of the vampires are showing up on your recording.
Oh.
Am I anywhere near able to see
Do you want
this
to be?
recording and see
Sure.
I've got a transformation recorded?
Yeah, why not? We'll say you hear it. You can hear yourself. The ripping, the sinews going, all of the sounds we described. If I recall, Alder was right behind you in the doorway on the way out, directly behind you. And you had to take the full standard action to turn because it wasn't a reaction, the shapeshift. In response to getting hit. So it was a little slower. You didn't have quite as much adrenaline going up, and it was a little more conscious and a little bit more painful than normal.
So Alder looks a little concerned, a little perplexed, shrugs a little bit, and starts typing, a little disclaimer, like, I don't know why they're not showing on video, but if you're seeing any vampires out there tonight, that's what we're fighting. I promise. They're there. They were there. I promise.
You're going to post that? I can't let you post that.
Oh, what's I'm okay.
I'm in it. I will not let you post it.
Let me
delete
do
it
some
right
editing.
now.
I'll make sure I edit you out here. You've my word, Conor. Now I'm just gonna take you out of all of these shots, but I can't post it now. I'll edit this while we're moving. If you like, I can make sure that you see it before I post it, if you don't believe me.
We've got more important things to worry about right now, so I'm not going to push this. But if somehow any accidents happen, I will make certain that what happens is not an accident.
I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to threaten to eat someone.
Yeah. I do not want my identity plastered over the internet.
Can I sense sin on Conor?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm not innocent.
just so Alder can get like a real, just having met you, get an idea of like what you're capable of doing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you describe what Sense In does and how that works?
Sure, yeah. So Sense In The character looks into a target's eyes, makes an ego check against the ego defense. On a success, the character can sense what sorts of horrible things the target has done. On a fantastic success, they can sense what sorts of horrible things they intend to do in the immediate future.
Sure. Quick question.
Yeah.
Would he be getting the human form or the wolf form?
Let's
or
see
would
if
it be
he
combined?
even makes the roll. He's got to make a roll first.
I do have to make a roll.
And you got to roll against my what?
Your ego defense.
Ego defense is 12, not tremendously.
Okay. All right, rolling. Oh wait, how do I do this? Ego. No, rolled it. I forgot to use demiplane each time. I rolled a 12.
Okay.
141.
That makes it.
You just got it.
Conor doesn't relish violence. However, though, he has learned to harness the violence. As much as the wolf is very powerful and has great violent potential, it's the rabid side, the berserker side, is something that I try to restrain and contain significantly. And I'll even say since we're talking about sin and there's a sort of a religious aspect to that, I'll say if anything, there is a weight of almost guilt about the violence that has needed to be done and needed to be experienced at some point.
And Grem will say this, and this is maybe a difficult thing to put into words, but in game terms, metagaming, you would know that Conor has the heroic tag, and you would feel like you do not. Like
yeah. If
you approach this as like, how bad is it? And like basically the sense is like, oh, he's a better dude than I am.
Right.
That's the gist.
Yeah.
At least currently.
Right. Okay.
Either side of that equation could change.
Alder, at first, looks like a little scared at first, and then kind of like looks in your eyes, and you can see maybe like a visible like release. Kind of composes himself a little bit. Says, "Listen, you and I, we're on the same team here. We want the same thing.
Let's keep it that way.
Let's keep it that way. We're all a group here, and I'm not going to post anything that, with your image in it, with your likeness, if that's what you want to do. But, just keep an open mind going forward. If you ever decide to change your mind,
keep me out of your videos.
Kept cutting you out.
All right. All right, so Grem, I think we're good with you. Conor, was there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, I'm just basically checking my gear and waiting around, see if they want to go for a ride.
Okay. And while that's going on, Jackie has gotten through to a secure line at MI13. It takes a while for it to go through, but eventually you get to an operator. Very calm sounding, very generic what they say. You'd think you were calling a bakery or something like that. But you give a certain code to get through without giving any indication. They just say, please hold. And then you get to another line, and you can hear this line's got a little bit of a crackle to it. And you hear a woman's voice say, Jackie, is that you? And you recognize the voice as one Faiza Hussein. Faiza is relatively new character and relatively new member of MI13. She currently goes by the code name Excalibur. She is a Muslim woman, a doctor, I believe Pakistani, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure. You would probably know she had a little bit of a thing with the Black Knight. You're not sure if that's still going on right now. Has worked with other members of MI13, tested field agent by the name of Pete Wisdom. Pretty high up. Almost a little weird that you're getting somebody like almost like a field agent rather than somebody who sits behind a desk. And after that, she says, "Are you okay?"
All right. But we are experiencing a little bit of a problem with vampires. How is it on your end?
Oh, yeah, I thought you might. We've been trying to contact you.
Oh, yes. Too busy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think you understand. We're having a little bit of a vampire problem here, too. But they came here looking for you.
For me?
They came to our office looking. They've killed quite a number of people. We lost the office. We're in a remote location now. I don't want to say anything else on that matter, but
completely understandable.
We're kind of hunkered down, but yeah, they were specifically looking for you.
Well, then I suggest you don't tell them where I am.
Yeah, I don't want to know where you are. You haven't told me, please.
Nope.
Yeah, you didn't mention anything, right? Yeah.
Definitely not telling you where I am.
They sent a fairly large force here for you. So
well, thank goodness I have confidence that you're all up to it.
Yeah. Well, we don't have much choice, but things are looking a little better than they did 10 minutes ago. We've at least we're hanging in there. Be careful. We don't have any information right now about what's causing this. We are investigating as much as we can. Call back every 8 hours or so, and we'll try and give you as much information as we have on how this progresses. But yeah, it appears to be a Europe-wide. We've gotten feeds from America. We've gotten feeds from other parts of the world as well. So this appears to be a worldwide event. It's dark everywhere, vampires everywhere, some places more than others.
I'm sure Blade is having a field day.
We have not heard from him, so don't know. Haven't heard from Blade. Haven't heard from a few folks. It's still early, but we are looking to get in contact with Eric and some of the others.
Well, I'm chuffed to hear that you're still all right.
Yes, well, a stiff upper lip and all that. We will persevere.
All right. Well, I'll be back in touch in 8 hours or whenever I can get the chance.
Sounds good. I'm going to go slice some more heads off. Bye.
Excellent. Bye.
We'll say you took that in an area where no one else can hear, so I'll leave it to you whether or not you would discuss what you had heard with the others.
Well, I think it might be important for the others to know that it does seem like we're not the only ones under attack from vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been able to establish that the vampires are not just in the Americas. This does seem to be perhaps a global attack.
I'm not in the room, by the way, because I'm off.
Yeah, we'll say at this point you've come back with the safe, the little mini safe at this point, portable safe.
But I also needed to go reach out to my contacts.
Oh, and you wanted to do that while you were there? Okay. All right, so let's hit pause on that. Fish, let's go to Colin. You're in the room where you got the safe. You have an opportunity to make a call here.
Yes.
So who might you be calling specifically?
Well, that's a good question because I'm looking for information about the Lightbender amulet and possibly some other things. So I need someone who would know about ancient artifacts that obviously Doctor Strange is a little bit out of my field of view. Like he's a little out of range for me. Perhaps.
Well, you have connections villains.
Connections villains, yes.
All right, so we can work with that.
So potentially Damien Hellstrom, since Damien Hellstrom did teach Colin how to use his powers
Mm-hmm.
uh, at one point, although they may not necessarily be on the best of terms currently. Um, I could probably reach out to any of the other people that were involved in the arcade conflict.
Mm.
Like what's her name? What's her name from Runaways? The
Oh,
sorceress,
Nico.
Eco.
Yeah, Nico's not a villain, but I think
Right. But we have
it,
a relationship. We would have a
yeah,
relationship.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and we'll say Hellstrom you can't get to, and you give Nico a call. She's with Carolina, we'll say, and the two of them have been fighting off some vampires, and what she can tell you. So she's only got so many ways to phrase a magic spell, right? She's got to be kind of unique. There are certain phrases she might keep in reserve for some important,
Mhm.
really it's got to be right magic spells. And she busted a couple of those out, and they didn't really have much of an effect on the sky. So we'll say, whatever magics are behind the sky darkening, the way she described it is it sounded like there were too many sources. So let's say she tried to hit one area and poke a hole, but she got this sense that there were many different areas that were feeding this darkness. So it was kind of like putting her finger in a dike. She just couldn't stop it.
Hmm.
And she doesn't know what that means. She's gonna keep trying, but they're kind of moving as quickly as they can.
They came looking for an amulet. Um, I I can send you a picture of it. I need to find out what it is, what it does. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'll send it. I'll text it to you.
Yeah.
By any chance, do you happen to know of anything that can uh negate the effects of lycanthropy?
Haven't had much cause to look into that, but if and when I get a breather, uh, I'll do some digging on it. How important is that?
Uh, hmm. It's a favor for someone. But whenever you can, I'll send you that text now though. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as we get into a safer, more permanently safe position, I'll see what I can do.
All right, and I send her, that, and then I head back down.
All right. Yep. You exchange some other tactical information. You let kind of her know what's going on over here. She gives you a little bit more tactical information, although it's still early going right now. Nothing other than what she shared about how she tried to just
Right.
say, "Hey, sunshiny day," or whatever she said.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and it just didn't work.
yeah, and I'll wait until we're caught up with the current
Okay.
conversation to relay that information as well.
Yeah, we'll say your conversation and Spitfire's conversation took about the same amount of time, so you kind of both come back downstairs into the main room at about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So all four of you are there now.
It seems that this is a global attack, not just here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard the same thing from someone in California.
So if there is some sort of a rendezvous, do we suppose that's just this group for this local area or something bigger?
I mean, would seem to make sense. They probably. What? So can you tell us a little bit more about what's happening over there? I mean, and about wherever it was that whoever you talked to, I assume you called across the pond.
Yes, I didn't get specifics about one area. I basically heard that these outbreaks are happening all over Europe
Hmm.
and Americas and other parts of the world as well.
So it would seem that if we move forward with attacking whatever is going on here, it will only take care of whatever's going on here.
Potentially. But every little bit could help.
Sure.
Did either of you share the information about either the rendezvous point or the 18-wheeler?
I was not about to share it because that would indicate where I was.
Okay.
Right, no, I did not.
Okay.
Quick question. How far is the rendezvous point seem from where we currently are? Is it like a 20-minute drive? Is it a 4-hour drive? Is it a 2-day drive?
Yeah, it's in the Boston Harbor area, so downtown from where you are currently. So closer to 20-minute, especially since there's not a lot of people driving around right now. Everyone's hunkered down.
Okay. You all have a lot better context than I. If this is that big that it's gone global, I'm out of my league. I can keep people safe local.
Colin, do you know how to make vampires visible on camera?
Do I know how to make vampires visible on camera?
Sprinkle glitter over them. The glitter shows up.
No. No. I perhaps a sorcerer of some sort would have some ability to affect that, but not that is far outside of my knowledge base, unfortunately. I do know how to kill them, though.
Here's a quick question, and I guess actually no, you already answered it. Because I've heard one of the reasons why vampires don't show up on camera is because standard film uses silver nitrate for development, and it's the silver that blocks the vampire, and that's also why they don't show up in mirrors, because mirrors oftentimes have silver, and silver and vampires are an anathema. But I've heard that used as like, therefore digital does, because digital isn't.
As of the last issue of Wolverine that I just read 2 days ago, it's digital.
Yeah.
And it was a damn good story too. So no spoilers.
Yeah.
But
you already mentioned that. So yeah.
Oh yeah. It was an insanely good story. So yeah, I'm confident Marvel believes it's all electronic equipment. Whatever the science is behind that, Fuzzy doesn't know.
Unstable molecules.
Don't tell.
Right, always. Gamma radiation is involved somehow too.
Gamma radiation is also involved. That's fine. Okay.
Well, the important thing is we're all a team. We are doing this together, and we can all vouch for each other when this is all over, for each other's character and what we've accomplished together.
And I appreciate the level of comfort you've suddenly grown for all of us, Pastor. So, I tend to be less amicable around people. However, the situation being what it is, reasonable bedfellows and all that stuff, sort of thing, Okay, so we're in a shitstorm, but we know where the shitstorm's heading. So
we know where a rendezvous point is.
And the thing that they were looking for is well secured and will stay on my person until someone takes it from me. But even then, it will be fairly well secured. So I think,
and it's now an electronic lockbox on your person.
Yeah, no one's getting into this box without powers or a code. So that's the best I can do, unfortunately. So I think we should go kill vampires.
I don't know what else to do. You guys have access and apparently information that I would never have access to. So this is global. That's horrible. I don't know what to do. I see this as I see this as a local fight, just because I don't have, point me at a target and let me know. That's
I would suggest we take care of the local scenario as best as we can, and we have information. You have the ability to turn into a monster that can rip people's heads off. I think we all bring certain skills to the table. So our pastor can bring the power of God and the ability to make someone go crazy. Let's utilize all the skills at our disposal. I will shoot at things Spitfire can, or sorry. What is Spitfire's original real name again?
Jackie.
Jackie will run very fast at things and hurt them. We will all bring our special skills to bear.
All right. So what's the plan?
Take them out.
Group name?
We don't need a group name yet.
All right, I'll keep thinking.
You're so adorable. You just keep working on that.
I love it. It's the best. Okay.
I'm gonna say I think it's completely appropriate to my character as opposed to the rest of the party that I would know how to drive the semi.
Yes.
I think you would do a great job at driving this.
I was, it's funny. I was thinking about this and I was imagining like, all right, two of the people are going to be driving on the wrong side of the street. And the pastor, there's just no, it's, of course, the big blue collar guy is going to know how to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely don't need to let me drive.
I'd
be going way too fast.
All right. So, yeah, right. All right, so
and just in
me,
case Fish asks, no, I cannot drive in a werewolf. Or at least I should say I've never tried. Actually, I should say I've never tried.
Much of your mind you maintain as the werewolf. Anyway, so
all right, so describe for me, we'll assume that the folks are in good hands. That Barnabas and
yes. Thank you.
Barnabas is feeling himself.
Yes.
Adam is a big hulking Frankenstein's monster. Why don't
we bring him?
Well, somebody's got to keep
Barnabas from eating them.
Yeah, it's true too.
Why is Barnabas going to eat them again?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we don't. Oh, yeah, interesting. I don't know that anyone else really knows.
That's a long story. We'll talk about that later. Let's go. Off to the fray.
Okay, yeah. So you guys go. We'll say Adam is there. He locks everything up as best he can. They've even dragged some of the display cases and larger furniture, put it in front of some of the windows. They feel pretty confident. The way into that secure area, like the first floor is vast, and the area that you were in, there's only really one small hallway from there to get into sort of the depths of the mansion. So it's kind of like a natural choke point. If anyone comes in through that door, it's fairly defensible. And Adam and Barnabas have already removed all of the more powerful items that were in that room, and secured them away, so they're not too worried about defense right now. Like they feel as confident as they could feel given this scenario.
Yeah, I'm good to leave. So let's go. Let's do this.
All right.
What's up with this semi? Is there anything in particularly special about the semi? Does it have like any unique features to it?
Yeah, so the only thing you notice is that the all of the windows are tinted, um, pretty pretty dark. And when you get inside, I mean, you can see it's obviously got some sort of UV filter on it. It's still pretty dark. You can't really, it's not like mirrored, but it's still very difficult to see in. And uh, now that there's no light, it's pretty difficult to see. Although Connor would be the perfect one to drive, just because his senses are a little better.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy to let him drive.
The electricity is still working, so all of the street lights are on, even though it's still only mid-afternoon at this point. You know, they automatically came on, and you know, we'll say that the street there are still like you still see movement. Like you'll occasionally see a is it a flock of bats? What's a group of bats called? A belfry of bats. Um, a bunch of bats, you know, flying overhead.
Colony of bats.
A colony of bats. You'll occasionally see some folks running. Difficult to tell whether they were human, vampire, police. Not sure. You just see little glimpses of them, but there's still stuff, you know, going on. Little signs of fights, occasional gunfire, sirens, car alarms going off. It's a pretty, you know, loud and active, apocalyptic. Nearly, it's remarkable how quickly it got to apocalypse looking. Fires started, you know, in several areas, going unchecked. Yeah, it's pretty Mad Maxy out there.
I mean, so we're driving and we're heading towards wherever the location of the
harbor.
Yep. So where are you guys? Who's taking shotgun? And the other folks want to just get in the back, like in the semi part, the trailer part, I should say.
I would love to take this time to, if Colin is interested, to finally sit down and show him my ring. See if he has anything to say about it. Which is the reason that I came to the curio shop in the first place.
Okay.
I guess I can offer to navigate and sit up front with the driver.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Do you need to borrow a gun, Jackie?
Oh, sure. That sounds like a good idea.
I'll give her a pistol so she can shoot out the window.
All right.
Okay. So,
I had a list going of everything that I have in my inventory, but I don't remember where I put it. I think I found it during a work day once, and I was like, "Why do I have silver bullets and holy water here?"
That's my fourth favorite pistol. Don't lose that.
All right, I will be careful.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are navigating, and yeah, in the back. How does Alder bring this up?
Yes. Colin.
Are we actually driving?
Yeah.
Cool.
The reason I came to your curio shop was because I thought I'd heard about you, and I heard about your shop, and I heard if anybody might know anything about the nature of this artifact that I wear, you might be able to provide some insight. And I kind of show him the ring, which is just kind of a corroded iron, very old looking iron ring with a picture of a like engraved lion on it. It's got a very small diamond on the inset, of like a flat inset on the top, and it has some Hebrew on it.
Interesting.
But can't take it off.
You can't take it off. Curious. Would that be a logic check, an ego check, or a vigilance check? Try to determine what it is.
That'd be a logic check.
A logic check. Okay.
TN 14.
Oh Lord! All right, this is gonna be terrible. Ready, go. Nope. You know, it looks really. I got a 10. It looks familiar. I'm not sure precisely give me some more time. I think I can figure that out for you.
He says the Hebrew says is translated to Judah's needle.
Judah's needle. Can that count as help to do another roll?
No.
No. Okay.
And yeah, what I think Alder is looking for, he's just starting this journey of like trying to like maybe he should figure out the nature of this thing and maybe it
what else?
In his mind maybe to exploit it more further if it's further exploitable. But he's looking for not just direct answers, but if you know people, if you have connections, know where we might be able to look next, that kind of thing.
What else have you tried to do with the ring?
Just I've a lot of what you may or may not have seen me do. That all comes from this ring, and I've it's just been it's just been me using it. I haven't done any other investigation.
Well, it would seem that experimentation may be required.
I'm game.
We'll keep that in mind. I'll dig into this for you. I'm sure that we can find an answer.
And I trust Cullen because we are now close friends. That you'll keep the source of my power a secret.
I think that discretion is definitely the better part of valor in this scenario, and we should keep this close to the chest. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Meanwhile, you guys are driving, and you've got this GPS that you're following, and you're heading down south to the South Boston waterfront. It takes you across this one. It's kind of like taking you into more of like an access area rather than a civilian place that you could normally drive. So it's definitely you're getting into some lesser populated areas. Start seeing fewer people move around,
like docks and warehouses.
Yeah,
types.
Yeah, and there's one particular terminal that you see that is like you can, as you're driving, you can see there's signs for there's like a sign for like a wedding cruise where they have smaller boats fit 200 people, 100 people on it. You can go out and they have little fishing boats, party boats, smaller ones. And then you get to some larger ports, like some cruise liners, and then you get to like the commercial ones. So there's this one terminal. I can bring it up on the screen here just to show you guys. All right, so let me zoom out a little bit. So there's Boston. Right. So you're definitely on the south side. And as we zoom in, you can see this area over here. You're coming across this road right now, right? So you got a good view across the water as you go over this road. It's taking you down this freight corridor. So this is where it's like, all right, now you're officially away from residential roads. There's probably even signs that say commercial, traffic only, something like that. You're coming down this road here. Looks like there's some sort of security stops in here that are not currently manned or vamped. You can keep driving. You're going around this area here. And then
was Christopher Lee from Boston?
I don't even know where you see that.
Oh, there was a Christopher Lee playground. And
Oh.
some other Christopher Lee stuff.
The Christopher Lee playground.
That's what it said.
Where is that?
It was when you were zoomed in more. It showed. Yeah, around there.
Down
Yeah,
over
zoom
here.
in more. Yeah,
It's neat.
Is it dog park? Was it one of these?
I think maybe zoom in a little more.
Christopher Lee playground.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
On First Street. That's interesting.
Because, you know, when I think of Christopher Lee, I think of children playing.
It's just dogs fighting.
Oh my gosh! Wow! What?
There's Connor.
What an image
Here we go.
for this playground. Could you? Oh my goodness!
That's awesome.
All right, so we are just north of the famous the world-renowned Christopher Lee playground. Connor growls as you go by, and I'm going to say you kind of pull into this area over here. Once you get around over here, the bing you have arrived, but you don't necessarily see anything telling you specifically where to go from here. Yeah, so you're not sure if it wants you to turn left into this area, which looks like a parking lot, or to continue along over here. You are not sure.
Well,
And you can
okay,
see
so-
these things over here are these big AT-AT looking things. You know what I'm talking about? Like the loaders that look like AT-ATs. Am I the only one that was a kid thought they were AT-ATs?
Oh, yeah. Totally look like
You mean-
that.
Sure. Yeah.
You mean all-terrain armored transports? Yes.
I do.
Okay, so but I think Jackie was probably trying to like play with the radio, see if there was anything else in terms of like other hints inside the cabin that of the truck. You know, like would she be able to find? You know, is there like a radio station or anything in the glove box or anything that she can find that helps us narrow down what this rendezvous is about?
You know, most of the stations are dark or just static. You do hear emergency broadcast on a couple of them, maybe on some AM stations, and it's one of them is maybe just comes on, maybe even as you're flipping through, like you're kind of going through a couple of times, and one of the stations all of a sudden has got a signal that's broadcasting, and it's the emergency service, and it's just a voice repeating the same message over and over again. Stay in place. You know, no description of what it is, no mention of the word vampire, nothing like that. Very, very vague. Deliberately trying to not, despite the chaos that's happening, talking about the weather event or that's what they're calling it, like the environmental event, maybe. Please stay inside, shelter in place.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, go under a desk, maybe. But no practical information, like if you have instead of going under your desk, break the legs off of that wooden desk and sharpen them. Like that would be helpful information. That's not the kind of information that's being shared right now. Connor probably slows down at this point, not knowing where to go, so the two of you in the back can feel that you've slowed down, and certainly haven't slowed down for red lights or stop signs, so you assume you're.
Yeah. Has there been anything? I mean, you said that there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. Pretty much people were like, "This is disaster."
Mm-hmm.
So has there been anything we've seen as we've been driving? Other packs of vampires or massive things in the sky. I'm assuming everything is overcast with
nothing
blocking clouds
in the sky. You definitely do see some occasional packs of what you think could be vampires. Again, you see the occasional colony of bats flying. You definitely do see that there is activity, but enough where if you stop to attack one group, I mean, you would just that would be the rest of your life. It's just fighting these small individual groups. Luckily, they don't seem to have gathered together. It looks like they are pretty spread out, perhaps deliberately. So
we're looking for some place that looks like it's where we would drop off a bunch of people cargo.
Right. So if they're trying to get it on a ship, it would make sense that we go towards the docks where the ships are.
Okay. So you want to bang that left then?
Sure.
Go into this to get onto this road over here? Is that what you want to do?
Unless we
or you can go straight.
That's flying in a specific direction.
Yeah. Do we see anything that would indicate like, oh, here's a massive horde of vampires?
Yeah, I mean, I would say these ships are pretty big. You can see that there is one ship where it is on the map here. There's one ship that's there. These other docks are empty.
But they're okay. So probably go towards the ship, but also be on the lookout for people, directing vehicles like ours to a certain direction.
Does someone have sense supernatural?
Yeah, I do, but last time I did that, I basically got blinded with a headache from.
But that was in the curio shop, right?
Where
I was in the curio shop from everything outside.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it again, but I'm not all that optimistic that it's going to provide a whole lot of insight. So sure.
Yeah, you're definitely picking up some shit coming from that boat.
All right, let's go.
All right, we're heading.
Great. So heading for the boat.
Well, so you come down this way. You turn it. Lights on or off, by the way.
I'll say lights off.
Okay. As you come around this way, it's a big truck, so as you're making the turn, there is some noise. You can't really sneak in an 18-wheeler, and you come up this way, and we'll say, as you pull up onto this main street, you hear a couple of voices coming from this area. Hey, over here, where you going?
Cool.
Not aggressive. Would you go down that way for? It looks like they maybe had some sort of like checkpoint or something over here, and maybe you were meant to come down this way. But there was no way for you to know that. It wasn't like you missed a check or something. It was just.
How many are there?
There are just two.
Just two?
Mm-hmm.
How far are they?
Looking at the 50 feet here, we're gonna say about 300 feet from where you are. We're gonna say you're about over here.
Cool.
You're the least likely of us to actually pretend to be a vampire, aren't you?
No, that's not even it. I'm just thinking about flooring it.
Okay.
Good old-fashioned run them over.
Yep.
Good idea.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually calling you over. I mean, they're actually saying, "No, over here."
All right, sure. I'll pull over to see what they want.
All right. Pull over or run them over, or
I'm driving over there.
Okay.
So
you make the wide turn. You can kind of come back this way.
I'll play with the party right now.
Yeah, and it looks like they were hanging out in whatever this area was over. I don't even know what it is, but somewhere over here, they had a little thing set up.
I look over Jackie. She's in the passenger seat,
so
I'm assuming she's going to be on the side that's able to talk to them, right? You do the talking.
No, so I'm going to say they send one to each side.
Okay.
Of course, they can't see in because of the UV coating. Do you turn the truck off?
No.
Okay. Truck's still going. All right. So they're telling you.
Because where you want them.
Window down.
Well, so I guess I can roll mine halfway down and go, driver's side window's not working. Where should we put it?
All right. Give me All right, give me an ego check.
Okay, yeah. So I got a 3, 5, 2 plus 1 equals 11. I also have the gun at the ready. This fails.
Yeah, he takes a step back and reaches for a sidearm, and let's roll initiative.
I knew I should have fucking run him over. I knew I should have fucking just scored
Yeah.
it.
12.
And a 12 for me.
I rolled a 15 with a fantastic success.
Ooh, boy.
3,
Excellent.
Marvel 4. Boom.
You were just waiting for Spitfire to fail here.
I got a 16.
Connor, you go first in the bonus round.
Well, I think it's obvious what I'm going to be doing. This is my round to get furry.
So standard action, get furry.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Do anything with the door? Leave the truck running? Anything else you want to? You can combine these things. Movement is very flexible. I'm not going to, if you want to turn the car off, open the door and jump out, all of that's fine.
Yeah, sure. I will turn the truck off. I'll pocket the keys.
Carefully undo your seatbelt, which I'm sure you were wearing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I'll stash the keys in my rucksack, which is in the truck with me.
Okay.
And I was thinking what I need to do, and Jackie, I'm certain will find this tremendously entertaining, as probably will Cullen, is what I really need to do is I need to invest in stripper pants with the Velcro or the button snaps down on the side, so that when I wolf out, I just basically they unsnap, they fall off, and I can then put them back on later.
There you go.
That would be an advantage.
Yes, in so many ways. So yeah, I'm ditching my skivvies and wolfing out for my first round. So I'm getting out.
Sounds good. The vampire that is right in front of you now also got a marvel. He rolled an 11, but he did get a marvel. 2 marvel 1.
Cool.
So he sees you get out super quickly before he can even react to anything. You barely heard what was going on the other side. He shouts something out to his rear, so towards the boat area. He shouts something out to that area. We got trouble.
Right.
And then
Cool.
You're right in front of him, so he's not gonna go for his gun. He's gonna tear in to you with his bite. Got a 656 on the roll. That's a 21 total.
Okay.
But happily, not a marvel, and only 14, but still 14 points of health damage. As this guy is similar in strength to the other big bruiser that you fought, but obviously a little better, because I'm not sure that guy even really hit you for any damage. So this guy rips into you for 14 points of health damage. He's going to take a move action defensively, keeping his eyes on you, but he's going to back away towards the boat a little bit.
So I just took 14 points of damage, and so that, I believe, starts to talk about Berserker, and so that is a non-combat ego TN check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rolling, and 13. So, being Berserk gives the character an edge on all close attacks and adds +2 to their melee resistance and ego defensive. However, it takes -2 from their agility defense, which they cannot use ranged weapons. I currently have 60 focus.
Okay.
So, we're talking about 12 rounds. The fuse has been lit.
All right. That was the bonus round. Now we go to the beginning of round 1 on 17. Before Spitfire goes the vampire that was right in front of Spitfire. And he does manage to squeeze off a shot before Spitfire is able to go. I don't think is going to hit because that's no. Your defense agility defense is 12, right?
Yes.
Okay, just barely hits you.
Uh-uh.
Um, 8 points of damage. He rolled very low on the actual Marvel die there, so we'll say it hits the window, and sort of the bullet fracture, so you get peppered with glass and maybe that's like you're almost trying to dodge the bullet, but once it hits the window and it fragments, there's no dodging all those little things, no matter how fast you are. And what is he going to do with his move action? He's going to hear the other guy kind of screaming for help and hear the voice kind of moving farther away. And he's going to use his movement to scoot around the front of the truck. So he doesn't get too far around because he was pretty far back. So he's kind of standing right in front of the truck right now. But still kind of got his pistol trained on you. Now you get to go on 16.
Okay, well, I had the pistol ready, but I think I'm gonna switch out for the silver dagger and just go running after him.
Okay. Easy.
Yeah, so will I have time to attack him as well as run after him then?
100%. Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I'm gonna run after him and make an attack with the silver dagger. That counts as a melee attack, which gives me an edge. So I got a 663. So for my edge, do I want to re-roll the Marvel die?
Yep. So that's a success. His defense was only 12. So you definitely want to roll the Marvel and see if you can get a 1 there.
I did not. So I'll want to keep my original roll, which was 663 plus 1 gave me 16.
Okay. Yep. And you're using silver, right?
And yes.
Yep. So that's no negative as terms of the DR there. So just your regular damage then.
22.
So 22. He's going to scream something out in a language you don't quite understand.
So definitely not German.
Not German. Not European. Sounds vaguely South American, but not really. Maybe older. What is Pastor thinking there?
I mean, Pastor doesn't know anything.
No.
That was me.
All right, so
He does have some history that might have given her insight into that language, but
there's a chance. I'll come back to you. I'll think about it for a second.
I haven't actually read the comics, but there's a piece in the history description that says she was undercover as part of the Vampire Nation for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be very useful.
Yeah.
It's not anything you don't think it's anything related to specifically to vampires.
Okay.
It's not like a vampire. Like, you don't think there's a vampire language to your knowledge other than, Transylvanian or something like that maybe, but that's just a regional language. Yeah, so it's not doesn't sound Eastern European at all.
Okay.
All right. We're back to Conor.
All right. Well, we know what I'm going to be doing. So, what's their damage reduction?
It is 2.
18. 4 Marvel, 2 fantastic success.
Nice.
Wow.
I could use an edge to see if I could bump that 2 up, right?
Yeah, it won't do anything, and you don't have a chance for it. I mean, it's already a success, so
all right.
It won't do anything in this case. So so what was the final damage here?
Final damage is 60.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this. So damage multiplier is the Marvel die times 6 minus 2 plus 6 times 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. You rip into this guy. Jump down. on his neck area. You can taste the blood, but he reaches into your mouth and pushes you back. And he's still going. He's hurt.
Oh my.
He is still kicking. I am very impressed by that.
He is still going.
Oh.
So, all right, and I was at 60 focus. I am now at 55 focus.
Right.
Like I said, the fuse is lit.
Jen, have Spitfire give me a logic check. I'll make it relatively easy. Just, we'll say target number 12 is just to recall something in the heat of battle.
Okay. Okay, I did not make it. I got a 2, 3, 4 plus 1 equals 10. I have an edge on logic checks to investigate people.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll let you have an edge because you're trying to investigate. Yeah, I'll definitely give you an edge in this case.
Okay. And so do I want to re-roll a marvel or the lowest in case of a logic check?
I think in this case I would say the lowest. And I say that only because this is kind of a yes/no thing. There isn't really a anything I can think of what a fantastic success would be.
So now I have a 5, 3, 4 plus 1 equals 13.
That is good enough. You recall something about this language when you were younger.
Which time?
Yeah, younger. You recall...
Oh, that younger. All right.
You recall a certain family member by the name of James Montgomery Falsworth. James Falsworth was the original Union Jack. He had fought with some very famous superheroes, few though they were, back in the day. And you remember him singing you a little lullaby. It wasn't in English. And you remember the tune. And then you remember asking your dad, like, Daddy, what language is that? And he's like, it's something a friend of Namor's taught me. It's Atlantean.
Ah, okay.
So we're going with the MCU. That's why I said South American. You know, it's kind of so Aztec-y, Mayan-y.
I was thinking of Namor, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
Well, and she knows Namor, too.
Yeah, then you've probably heard him.
Yeah.
We'll say only very common words. You picked up something about like the sea, like the lullaby you remember was something about going back to the sea, going back to the ocean, going back to the waves, something like that.
Okay.
We go to 12 and Cullen. So Cullen and Alder, you guys are both in the back of the truck. You hear a gunshot. You hear shattered glass. You hear a roar. The truck gets very heavy on one side and then bounces back up, very light all of a sudden. And then you hear another scream, and then you hear footsteps running towards really know that there's a boat out there or anything like that. You're pretty locked in here.
Are there windows in the vehicle that we can access?
No.
Okay. So the only way to actually do anything would be to exit the vehicle.
Yep.
Okay. Did I hear someone shouting? Like you mentioned that some guy was shouting out towards the boat or whatever like that. Would I hear that people were shouting in a specific direction?
Yeah, so you heard the gunshot kind of coming from, the passenger door. You heard some movement towards the front, and you heard like the loudest growling and fighting to your north. So you have a pretty good idea of where things are situated. No one's being quiet.
And given that this was like a semi truck, there's a back door, right?
Yeah, and it's super easy for you to swing those open.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing the back doors open, and I'm gonna look out towards the boat and see if there's anyone coming in this direction or visit my side.
Yep, you can get to the doors, throw them open. Do you want to peek out, hop down?
I'm gonna hop down.
Okay. Yep, you can hop down, and you can see you got this big boat in front of you with those big cranes in front of them. They don't seem to be moving or operating right now. You can see the back of Connor fully wolfed out. There is some blood you can see glistening in his fur all over the side of his body. You can see a vampire that is backing away from him towards the water. That's already slowly healing, but really messed up. I mean, there's if it was a regular human, they'd be dead.
Okay. But are there people coming towards us from the boat?
No, not that you can see right now.
Okay, so I'm going to take my sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Am I at least 20 paces from that?
No, you're only like 10 or so.
I'm only like 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use stopping power, and I'm going to try to put a bullet right between that vampire's eyes.
All right. Regular bullet, or you got silver in this?
Silver bullet on this person.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll my agility. Okay. So I got my very first marvel. I got a fantastic success.
Nice.
All right.
Your very first marvel.
In my very first marvel, I got a 14 on the roll.
And on stopping power, that means you get to make another attack on the same target. But let's see the damage first. Yeah. How much?
It says 68.
Yeah. So you blow his head right off. Connor, you can feel the silver kind of going by.
That was the hurt one, right?
That was the one that had been hit for 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. So 128 was enough to take him down.
Okay.
So
I
he
don't
explodes, big burst of blood and muck all over the place.
Don't say I never did anything for you.
Yeah, I don't think he heard you. All right.
Where's the next target?
You've got one in front of the truck. And we'll go to Alder, also on 12.
Okay. Alder will come out following behind Colin. And so how far so coming from behind, and I have a movement of my run speed is 5 actually, which is fine.
And you're you're the length of a tractor trailer, so that's not 5 squares away, but you have line of sight.
Okay. I think what I'll end up actually doing is just inspiring Connor, who looks like he could definitely use some encouragement. It is maybe less encouragement and more direction for where to focus all of that rage, to get that one right in front of us. So Connor, that gives you an edge on all act. Well, I guess you already have an edge.
Edges can stack, can't they?
Yep.
Yeah, you get an edge on all action checks until the start of my next turn.
And we go to the top of the order and back to the regular vampire. What is he gonna do? He's gonna do 2 moves. He's gonna do full 2 actions, his move action and a standard action, to run towards the boat. So that'll be effectively 50 feet of running. So that'll put him like somewhere like almost halfway to the boat from where you are now. Let's keep it round. All right, Spitfire 16.
You mentioned healing. I do have healing factor. I was supposed to regain health equal to my resilience at the end of the last, so I'm just going to add 1 now to make up for that. And then I may as well run after him and hit him again with the knife.
All right.
So with my run speed of 10, I still catch up?
Yep. Even though his double move is your single move.
My single move.
Yeah, there's no getting rid of you.
All right.
Which horrifies him as he turns around and sees you like right there, like, hello.
Of course it would. All right, so I got a 2, 3, 5, so I want to re-roll. That gives me 14, but I think I want to re-roll the Marvel die.
Yep, because the 14 will hit.
Okay. And I did not get a marvel, but I got a 4, so now I have a 15 to hit, and that gives me 16 damage
Okay, cool. And you're attacking with the silver knife, so all of that goes
with the
through.
silver knife. Yep.
All right, I'll knock that off. And we go to Connor.
There is no off switch on this. So the question is, he was in the front of the truck. He was basically directly in front of the semi. I was out the driver's side window, or I was at the driver's side door, and attacked a vampire who was backing away. So technically, he was running towards the boat. So for at least some period, he was kind of running towards me, right?
I mean, I was viewing it as kind of like an angle, but
Okay.
to keep it simple, I think you could easily get to him with a ram attack if you were comfortable using a ram attack.
That's what I was thinking. It's basically like I want to run it in and attack it and do that. Okay, so melee attack, and they've got damage reduction of 2. Correct? Roll. Result is a 19. It is 661, so it is not a fantastic success. However, I have 2 edges, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try to...
So when there are 2 edges, does that mean he chooses 2 dice, or does he get to re-roll twice?
You can re-roll the same die twice.
Yeah, I figure I'm going to re-roll the Marvel dice, see if I can get a 1. Okay, that was a 5, so that just dropped me down to an 18. So I'm going to re-roll again. And that went to a 4, so I'm going to stick with my original score, which was 19. Damage is 30.
Okay, now it didn't double that, so you should double that.
Okay,
right,
so that would be 60.
Because it's the ram, right. Okay, and then you take...
I take 30.
You had plugged, so luckily you have the same damage reduction as the vampire. So yeah, so you would take the 30, and it takes 60. And that is enough to take it down. So I'm gonna say, like, you just trounce on, like you get airborne, just rip into this thing and like skid on him as he's exploding. Actually, give me a vigilance check. 13.
Vigilance non-combat check comes in at 13 exactly. 2, 3, 6.
You hear a splash, and coming out from in front of you, right by the water's edge.
Cool. More enemies?
Is another, sort of looks like a vampire, but looks sort of like a weird fishy version of him. Looks kind of scaly, bluish skin, but bears fangs at you when he lands.
I'm not a 50 focus.
50 focus, okay. So he rolled a 13. So let me put him where he needs to be, right before Cullen. He's going to try, and just because he's all he can do with range, he's going to try and do a telepathic link with you, Connor.
Okay.
You're the one he can see clearest. So he needs to establish this. So he needs to make a logic check against your vigilance defense, which is higher, right?
Vigilance is 12.
Is that one of the things that gets higher when you're a werewolf?
No,
no?
I adds +2 to melee, resistance, resilience, and ego defense.
And ego, okay, resilience was. Okay, so not vigilance. Okay, all right, let's see what he can do here. Ooh, that is a success. He hit a 15. So you feel this almost alien language creeping in at the recesses of your mind. You barely understand language at this point, but this language seems to be really going right into your brain. It's not going through your ears. It's coming from, like, almost, it feels like it's coming from inside your head. That's just a prerequisite for what he might do next round. So nothing else other than that. And we go to Cullen on 12.
Okay.
Now, this guy, I'm going to say for you, is 20 feet away, 20 spaces away.
So I will use sniping. My sniper rifle. Yeah, I'm not even gonna waste time messing with this guy, and I'm going to use another silver bullet. All right.
You're keeping track of these bullets, right?
I am. I'm down to this will be 7.
All right, good. Don't worry, this is the last vampire you're ever gonna fight.
I rolled a 12.
Not gonna do it. We have help teammate. No one's taking a reaction.
Oh yeah, can I? Yeah, I can. I will do that. I will definitely do that.
I'm gonna re-roll the marvel. Marvel 16.
Oh,
Excellent.
Fantastic 16.
Awesome.
so a fantastic success on sniping.
It's triple damage.
That's triple damage, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Right?
All right. So the output it gave you should have been double for what you see, but I didn't tell you what you use silver, so it doesn't matter at all. All right. Yep. Okay. So what damage did it give you?
68.
68. So that's another 34 on top of that. So that's 102 points of damage. Yes. Oh. Holy shit.
I knew you could do it, Colin.
He is still up.
Oh my.
He is still up. Barely. I mean, he's not looking good. But yeah, so you hear this crack, silver bullet dead center in his chest. It puts a hole in him. I mean, it absolutely puts a hole in him, but he is still barely up and going at you.
Right.
All right, Alder.
I see a new creature, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, maybe this one's different. So I take I get my phone out and I'm okay. See if I can see the creature through the phone.
Oh, good check there. You cannot see him through the phone.
All right, like another stupid vampire. What Alder do here? That was very effective. Cullen was very effective here. So I think, and this thing being pretty far away, I'm gonna kind of double down on that. I'm gonna inspire again. This time just my standard action to inspire Cullen here.
Cullen, okay.
And can I do that standard action and then use my movement?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, you got this. I'm gonna inspire him, and then I'm gonna start heading up towards, still behind.
Yeah, so you're
Connor
halfway
and
between
Spitfire,
Connor and Cullen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Spitfire's a little off to the right. Speaking of Spitfire, we go to you.
Well, I still got this handy dandy dagger in my hand, so I may as well run up to Fish Guy and stab him with it.
Yep, and I think we established he's just right around 10 spaces away, so I'm going to let you do that.
Okay. So I got, let's see, a 2, 3, 2, but I get an edge, so I'm going to re-roll and see. I got a 2, 5, 2 on re-roll. It's just a 13.
13 will not hit. No.
Okay. Oh well.
That takes us to Connor.
There's no ambiguity. I can reach him and attack.
I think it would be another ram attack for you.
Okay. That works for me. -2 damage reduction. That does a 17, and I do have a edge, so I can re-roll.
17 does hit. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to re-roll the Marvel die, and I apparently rolled a 5 again, so no change.
Okay. Damage reduction on this was 3 for him.
That would be 21.
Okay.
Yeah. So 21 points of damage. Oh wait, we did that as a ram, right?
Oh yeah. So you did
so
42 and you took 21. He is barely hanging on there. He is barely hanging on.
I'm glad I remembered that.
All right, so he got a what does this say? 18 on melee.
My melee defense is exactly 18. It's ordinarily 16, but I have 18s with the berserk. So that means he hits, right?
And
yes.
Yep. And you're sturdy 2.
Correct.
32 points of damage.
Jesus.
All right. So this guy just slashes into you, ripping at you with his claws and his teeth. Yeah, his multiplier is normally ×7.
Oh my. That's how she's dealing so much damage.
Yeah. We go to Colin.
Okay, so how close are they to each other now? Is there a safe shot? That would not...
I'll say the following, and this is just as a narrator, you can apply pluses and minuses for anything. I'm going to say, based on the fact that these two guys are just ripping into each other, like really close, and you're that far away, I'm going to say there is not a chance that you would hit him, but in order to play it kind of safe, you got to take a trouble on it.
Got it.
You also have an edge
That's
for
fair.
me, though.
I do have an edge, but because there's a chance that I could end up hurting Connor in the process, I'm going to take a sniper shot, but I'm not going to use silver. And I know that's going to suck because there's not going to be a damage reduction 3. Or sorry, it's going to mean a damage reduction of 3, but I'm going to do that anyway to take. So, snipe. And I miss anyway. Oh, wait. I have an edge, right? So I get to re-roll 1 die?
You haven't... The edge and the trouble cancel each other out.
Okay. So, there. So, yeah.
But, again, we're at the end of the round, so anyone who has a reaction they want to use that they haven't used can do so.
Yeah, I haven't used a reaction, so if I can help.
How would you want to flavor that?
Is there any chance that I could, like, grab Connor to give him a better shot?
No, but you could shout out that, yeah, I mean, you could, from your vantage point, you could see that Cullen's lining up for another shot, so you could say, Connor, dodge right,
Yeah. Okay. So yell at Connor out of the way.
I re-roll. Okay.
So so you get to re-roll 1 die.
Roll that marble die. I got the same die. Okay. So no change. I still got a 12 on the result.
Okay.
Said.
Anyone else?
I'm in an awkward... So I already inspired him, right? And I'm halfway... Yeah, I'm kind of running away from him also. So it's hard to think of how I might be able to help.
Okay. Then, all right, Alder, it's you.
All right. So I'm using my movement. Can I get close enough? Can I get within 6 spaces now?
So you
I
took
spent
it
one
to...
movement.
You spent 1, so that's 25. So another 1 movement would get you halfway there, so you'd be 50 feet away, which is 10 spaces.
Oh, okay.
So
still
you could get there, but not enough. You would have to use your standard action.
Right. All right. So still not close enough for
Yeah,
me.
everyone else was using ram or is super fast.
Right. Well, gee. I guess I'll run up closer.
Double move. Okay. All right. So now, you can set yourself up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're still, you can put yourself, that 6 or 5 or 6 away.
I had planned on using that combat trickery, but there's no point now. Yeah.
Okay. Top of the round, everyone gets the reactions back, and it is Spitfire.
Seeing how hard this guy hit, I am a little bit worried about my health. I have do this all day, which is a spend focus to get healing thing, but does that have to be in lieu of an attack?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm not desperate enough to not attack this guy. So I'll go ahead and hit him again with the silver.
All right.
Dagger. Yeah, I got a 2, 4, 3, which gives me a result of 13. So I'm going to take my edge and re-roll.
Yep, 13 is a miss.
And I got the exact same thing. Boring.
All right. Anyone want to use a reaction here?
Yeah, I was thinking something along the lines of no, hit low, or something like that.
All right, so yeah, you go on with your first, and you can see he's got his guard up, but his underbelly is exposed a little bit. So go ahead and re-roll one die.
Okay. And this time I got a 14.
14, although better, is still a miss.
Yeah.
That is insane.
All right. And then we go to Connor. Last action before this guy goes again.
So I'm right there. I don't have to do a ram attack. I can just do a regular melee attack on him. I've got my edge and roll, and that is a 2-5, which is a 15. Does that hit?
A 15 is what you needed to hit.
Okay. Now, that's a 2-5. I have an edge. Okay, so I'm going to re-roll, and I'm going to re-roll the marvel and see if I get any difference on that. Re-roll. Holy.
Marvel?
I just fucking rolled a marvel.
All right.
All right. Awesome.
2 marvel 5. So it's 19, and that puts it as 48 points of damage.
Describe to me how you take this thing down.
Oh, so he's down. He's finally
He's
down.
down, yeah.
Good God. At this point, it's just overwhelming force.
Mhm.
You know, whether it's, sort of grabbed him by the shoulders and just like threw him down to the ground. I've ripped his throat out and just disemboweled him to the point where, yeah, he's in multiple discrete pieces on the ground.
Yeah.
And lest we get too caught up in it, I am now down to 40 focus, and I'm looking for my next target.
There appear to be no other enemies within sight. So we can come out of initiative, and you can...
To continue that flavor of, like, I disembowel him, he's in discrete pieces, he's no longer a viable target. All of the people who have been helping me see me whip around. I am dripping with blood. I am dripping with gore. You have seen me fight in other battles. You have not seen this. You see me functionally as rabid as you could possibly imagine any creature to be. And I'm breathing heavily, blood's dripping from my mouth. I start to take steps towards you, and not run, but there's a slow stalking towards you, and I keep scanning around for any other movements. If there's no other movements, I'm still walking towards you.
Alder finally catches up with you all and says, "We did it!"
Oh God.
Hey, at least one of your inspirations led to a crit. So that's not disingenuous at all.
So I guess I would probably recognize that Connor is still not ramped down, and I'm probably most in danger, but I'm not going to back away. I'm just going to be like, Connor, that was amazing. Snap out of it now.
If any of you know canine body language, dogs or wolves, when they're in aggressive posturing, they usually have like hackles up and ears back and fangs bared. That's not my posture. My posture is ears forward. At this point, not an aggressive, but definitely still breathing heavy, still dripping. Probably get up close to when I get within like 5 or 10 feet of Jacqueline. What's her agility score?
Defense is 12.
I don't know what she would have to roll in order not to be completely splattered with blood as I shake.
Just sheer reaction.
What kind of cliffhanger do I want to put you guys on? So you look around, you don't see any additional movement on the boat itself. You are able to take some time to kind of inspect what's left of the bodies. Maybe there's and then check out the little station where they had walked from. Those two vampires had walked from, and you can see there are like some log books there, and you can see there are some town names or neighborhoods, really, not just from Boston, but as far south as like parts of Connecticut, maybe Rhode Island. So it looks like there are within 100 miles from here, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of city names, each one of which would be a pretty big center of population. And you can see like the guard basically just had the first little check mark by Boston. And maybe he scribbled like your license plate from the truck, scribbled the license plate number on there. But there are dozens and dozens of essentially trucks that have not yet been accounted for.
Would it be safe to say that we were the first truck to arrive?
That's what you're piecing together. And we'll say everybody's like kind of gathered over here. You've taken some time to, get whatever ID or you can certainly still search the clothing is left behind, right? You can go through the IDs and stuff. And yeah, you can see that. That's what you're able to put together, that there are, and you can look at the truck, or sorry, you can look at the boat and you can see, there's room for like hundreds of like you could fit hundreds of these tractor trailer backs on there.
So I have a few thoughts about where we can go next with this. I mean, obviously this boat is going somewhere, but we've left quite a mess. So whomever shows up next is going to see that mess. It may behoove of us to since there are very few trucks, even on. Are there any of the crates on board? I think you already answered that question, but maybe I missed the answer. Are there any crates on board the boat already?
Yeah, no, and in fact, it doesn't even look like the cranes started up yet. Right. Everyone give me some vigilance checks.
Just raised my vigilance.
Let me know if anyone hits 14 or 16.
I got a fantastic 18.
Ooh.
Nice.
Good, I got 12, so.
I rolled an 8.
Oh, jeez.
I got a 10. I don't feel so bad.
Oh, all right. So just Grem with the pulling out the fantastic 18. Nice. You're kind of looking back and you look in one direction and you can see some headlights. Actually, they're not headlights. They're the running lights of an 18-wheeler, right? That are always on. And then you can see another one and another one. It's like at least 3 trucks that are coming in.
Guys, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
we've got some company.
Well, the other thing I was going to suggest is that we need to start tracking down the other trucks.
We found them.
Yeah. Fun.
And then towards the towards the back of the boat. I don't know shit about boats, so yeah, the stern, sure.
The aft.
Yes.
I'm gonna say whatever this thing over here is
the aft end of the boat.
It looks like it's the only area where that's kind of like, it looks like it's a little elevated and not like flat.
Yeah, where the bridge would go.
Yeah. You caught some movement coming from behind one of the like a flash of something coming from behind some of the glass, which you notice is dark even at night. You can tell it's kind of like the dark UV glass similar to the trucks.
Okay.
And you do have several trucks inbound, and we will decide how you want to tackle this situation in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Fuzzy.
You.
Thanks, Buzz.
Yes.